Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Welcome to your 10-minute morning send off designed to support you in receiving what you most want by unlearning struggle. So, today we're going to talk about how to invite good fortune, the non negotiable practice. So, this idea of inviting good fortune is something that you have the capacity to do all the time. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like your built-in superpower. And today in particular here in the United States is a very big day. I'm sure it doesn't take much for people to know what we're talking about, which is it's the election. And there are emotions and strong feelings and concerns for a lot of people. There's sort of anticipation. For some people, the feelings are very strong. Other people, maybe not so much. But I thought that this topic in particular would be extra super helpful today because we always have the capacity to invite good fortune. So, if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I'm passionate about teaching people how to receive their fulfillment by unlearning struggle. And the truth is that while some struggle in life is natural, much of it is learned, and it has everything to do with how we relate to the things that we want. A lot of us over rely on what I call a doing model of power, which is a whole bunch of problem solving, analysis, figuring things out, taking action, doing research, making plans. It's a whole lot of doing. And that's because we've been taught this, we've been rewarded for it, and it works. But it can only take us so far. And then there's this whole other model of power called the being model of power, which is infinitely more it's easier. It's way easier. And it also allows you to receive into your life things that are beyond what your mind can conceive of and what you can put into action. Because the truth is that when we're dealing with mental thought and action, we are operating from a place of control. Just like the hunter, what is it that we can figure out, conquer, make happen, and control as we envision it, as we intend it? But the receiving model of power, which is based in invitation and being, allows you to receive beyond what you could ever conceive of, beyond that which is in your control. It accesses and taps into the power and the kindness of life itself. So when we're dealing with something like the election, which has everything that is out of our control except that we can vote, the only other thing that we have that's in our control is the power of our awareness, the power of being. And so that's what we're going to tap into today. And so today, as I do each morning, I pulled a card from my brand new Receive deck. And this card is Be Spaciousness. And this week, I am highlighting the manifesting power of spaciousness as a preview to a brand new 30-day challenge that I wanted to make available for people to really open up to the experience of fortunate, easy receiving simply by creating 15 minutes a day of spaciousness. Okay, so I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But for now, I'm going to read to you the entire Be Spaciousness card because I have actually revised it a little bit since its first unveiling. I will include a link to that because there's a whole other video on Be Spaciousness. And I invite you to sit back, let these words wash over you, and welcome this opportunity to explore this idea that the non-negotiable practice to invite all kinds of good fortune is to understand, claim, and care for your spaces. Be spaciousness. So sit back and let this wash over you. Be spaciousness. A bowl that is full can receive no more food. A room that is full can receive no more guests. You cannot receive when there is no space in which to receive. And yet the question is not how do you receive, but what are you receiving? Because in fact, you receive all day long. If you do not claim and guard your space, something or someone else will. When you relinquish ownership and blame your job, your family, or your responsibilities for filling up your space, the spaces of your mind, your heart, your body, your schedule, your life, all of that will be filled by whatever the wind brings. As you reclaim your space and nurture your personal authority over your spaces, you expand in your capacity to be a fortunate receiver of good and better things in your life in expected and unexpected ways. Space is the invitation. Space is the invitation. So whether this is something that resonates and makes sense for you, whether this is a really foreign, weird concept, here's the thing. You don't need to understand it with your mind. You simply need to be willing to discover the power of spaciousness. So with that, if you want to invite good fortune, all you need to do is practice noticing when you want something that is more or better than what you're currently experiencing. Okay, because the mind is going to try to figure out a solution, fix a problem, problem solve. Okay, if you can notice when your mind is trying to figure things out, you can stop, pause, and here's your mantra for the day. I am willing to discover the manifesting power of owning and caring for my space. I am willing to discover the manifesting power of owning and caring for my space. So just try it on for size. And believe me that simply by being willing to put your attention on space, you start to create space, and space is the invitation. You can start becoming aware of all kinds of other things, other possibilities, inspirations, ideas, relief, and next steps, simply by placing your attention on spaciousness instead of the problem, the challenge, the goal that you're trying to make happen through the doing model of power. So that is your mantra for the day. That is your invitation to life, to invite life's kindness. Spaciousness is the non-negotiable, okay? And play with it, okay? Only good can come of it. Nothing bad can come of this willingness mantra. Now, with that, I wanted to unpack this a little bit more about how being spacious or claiming space or caring for your space is the non-negotiable in inviting good fortune. So as most of you know, I've been a coach for more than 20 years. And one of the patterns that I have seen when I take on a new client is, I'll have a call with somebody, clarity call. And if they have been in my orbit for a while and we have a conversation and the work resonates, they usually step into private coaching full of enthusiasm and excitement. Okay. And we have a lot of conversation about, how are you going to, engage this in your life, and what are your intentions? And, we do a lot to make sure that the person is in the right place to make use of what the coaching has to offer. And so inevitably what happens with most of my clients, not all, but most of them, because I tend to work with people who are very hardworking and very go-getters, and they know what they want. And by the time they go to coaching, it's like, I want to make this happen. I want to manifest these goals and dreams. They have their action plan and their awareness practice, which focuses on one thing, because I'm a big believer in less is more. And by the time they show up to the next call, most, not all, but most, and I hear this a lot, is, well, I didn't do everything that we talked about, or I didn't do that practice. Now, mind you, I give very little homework because less is more. More just adds to hard work and gets overwhelming. So I will offer one thing, just one little thing to do or to practice. They don't even have to do anything. And then that person will come to the call and say, I didn't do it, I forgot, or my life got busy, or work, or the kids, or my husband, or this happened. All right. Now, I share this not as a judgment, but as an illumination of how our spaces get filled. All right. And here's the thing. As I say with everyone, there are a million incredible programs, plans, home study programs, teachings, classes, blueprints out there, diets, all kinds of plans, tactics that work. They work. But if you can't make a space for it in your life, and you're not willing to take ownership of this is my space, this is a non negotiable, what you will receive into your space is whatever you always receive into your space, because you are receiving all day long. But when you claim personal authority over your spaces and you learn how to care for your spaces and have boundaries and ask for support for these spaces to be honored, and then you work with your spaces intentionally, proactively, and easily, it's easy to receive when you make space, then all kinds of good fortune in expected and unexpected ways can come into your life. And just another example to drive this point home, I'd like you to think about a couple of these examples of spaces and how space simply is the invitation. Imagine a kitchen counter that you've just wiped off clean. Clean, put away the dishes, put away the piles of paper and mail. How long does it take for that counter to start attracting and filling up with more stuff? The space is the invitation. Imagine a closet that you've cleaned out. You've purged. How long does it take before that closet starts accumulating stuff? Okay? Space is the invitation. You've cleared out the space of a garden. You've pulled out the weeds. You've moved the rocks. You've put everything where you want it. There's nice spaciousness. How long does it take before that garden gets filled up with leaves and weeds and animal droppings? Space is the invitation. Space is always an invitation, okay? How you guard it, how you take care of it, how you claim it determines what you receive. So that is what being a fortunate receiver is all about. It's about becoming so sacred and caring of your spaces that you become this brilliant genius of a receiver, like the majestic tree who just grows and expands. And because of what you receive all day long through life itself, you grow, expand, become stronger, more stabilized, and a greater and greater contribution to your surroundings. So with that, I hope you are inspired to keep exploring the power of spaciousness, the manifesting power of spaciousness. And if you would like to join me, you are invited to a brand new 30-day challenge called Start Receiving Now, the 30-day challenge where you get to discover what you can receive by claiming your receiving space 15 minutes a day. That's it. If you would like to join me, go to receivechallenge.com. It starts on Monday, November 9th. I'm so excited about it because this is the thing that can really help you to claim that space and to show up for yourself instead of everything and everyone else in your life, and really taking charge of your space to claim your power as a fortunate receiver. Again, receivechallenge.com. I hope you'll join me. It starts on Monday. You can join after because it's going to be available by email and this automatic delivery every single day. A micro teaching comes out to you 15 minutes a day. I can't wait for you to see what you can receive into your life. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.